Mike and Tom are registered with Stewart Partners Global Advisory LLC.
Common Sense Finance with Mike Wiginton and Tom Farrell of HL Wiginton Capital Management, an independent investment and financial planning firm in downtown Jasper. Mike is a chartered financial analyst charter holder, and Tom is a certified financial planner professional. They are here to discuss and give their thoughts on current financial and economic matters. Now, with Common Sense Finance, here are Mike and Tom.
Welcome back to another edition of Common Sense Finance. This is Mike Wiginton. I'm Tom Farrell. You know, people tell me all the time, Mike, they say, that Mike, he's crazy. He says some crazy stuff. I say, well, yeah, but, you know, a lot of it you have to think about. People. People. So one thing you said the other day, I guess you had a conversation with a client, was securing your money by putting it at risk.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah, I have, and I've kind of tossed that around a little bit. It makes a little bit of sense to me, and the more you think about it, the more sense it makes if you really delve into what you're trying to say with that statement.
Well, you know, Tommy, a lot of the things that we're doing around here require some really thoughtful consideration of a lot of relationships and things that aren't naturally or necessarily intuitive, that and on the surface seem to be contradictory. Mm-hmm. And so I get it how that might, you know, put some people back. But the nature of the phone call that you mentioned, or the interaction with that client that you mentioned, was one where this person had called and said, I want everything as safe as it can be. I want to be safe. I know that I have been more or less aggressive, and we've talked about how many times you've led the conversation about people having to go out the risk curve, mm-hmm. okay, in order to get some return, and that really characterizes this person's situation over the years. But she's been a great beneficiary of the stock market. So I've been aggressive, but I want to be completely safe now. I said, that's fine. I said, as of today, your position is 100% cash. You're 100% cash as of today. And so her next remark to me was, yeah, but cash doesn't earn anything. And what about all this, and I think the way she put it was, how about all this devaluation of our currency? You know, inflation's a big thing. And she didn't seem to make the link between inflation and devaluation. Perhaps, maybe she did in her mind, but just didn't, but the way she verbalized it, she didn't make the link. But she obviously had these concerns, mm-hmm. okay? And those concerns were contradictory with the position that she wanted to take, right. Okay, which was, you know, what we had taken, which was all cash, okay? So I said, and I think a lot of people think like that. It'll be all safe, okay? It's in cash. Yeah, but that doesn't earn anything. Well, you got to pick your poison. You got to because you are, one is astute, especially this day and age. This thing of inflation. And you brought it up on another podcast, stagflation, which is a stagnant economy with inflation, because usually if you get a stagnant economy, i.e. a recession, then you get potentially decreasing prices, okay? So to have a poor economy with increasing prices is something we haven't seen since the late 70s. And so you got to be asking, is that where we are today? And is the purchasing power of my money important to me? Because people think about devaluation wrong. You know what they talk about? You people talk about devaluation?
The exchange rate with Japan.
Have you seen what the dollar's doing against the yen?
Right.
Or the pound? Or the euro? You know, and I ask people, well, do you live in Japan?
Yeah. Are you going there anytime soon?
If you are, perhaps you should go ahead and, you know, exchange into some yen, right. Or just use your credit card and they'll do it for you automatically. You don't have to worry about currency. Yeah. That'd be the easiest thing.
Or you could postpone your trip until the exchange rate's more favorable.
Or you could postpone your trip.
I just wanted to throw that suggestion in.
Or just travel to some luxurious part of the world, like, you know, Nauvoo or something. Don't go to Japan, all right? Yeah. But the point is, you're not there. That's not how devaluation affects you.
Right.
True devaluation is what we're seeing right now, when your dollar, if you're building something, how many times we talked about this, your dollar will buy almost a meaningless fraction of what it would. OSB, lumber, a lot of people know about that. It's multiples. It's not 20% higher. Okay?
I would say from experience, you're probably looking at 60 cents on the dollar is what you're buying now versus what you could have bought 3 years ago. Some materials, it's worse than that.
It depends on what your mix, what your consumption basket is.
Yeah.
If your consumption basket is only OSB, okay, oriented strand board they use for decking on houses and so forth, it's going up 500% or maybe more. So I mean, you're right. Food, everything. So I told her, I said, well, you're astute to think about that, but you're contradicting yourself. If you want to protect against that, which I said, another way of saying that, you want to secure the value of your money, you're going to have to put it at risk. And what I mean by putting it at risk is equity, okay, because that's the only form, there's lots of versions or forms of equity. That's the only thing we know of ever in history that's given over, when I talk about long periods of time, let's just go back to the beginning of record keeping, protection against devaluation of your money via inflation. And so, but the nature of that is it fluctuates in price. Even if you own real estate and the value doesn't go across, stream across the bottom of your TV screen on a ticker tape, it's fluctuating too,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to believe that, all you people that own real estate. Good on you. Okay, that's good. I'm all for it. But it goes up and down in value too. So I said, the only way you're going to be able to secure your money is to put it at risk. That's your title of today's episode.
Yeah.
But that,
Well, you're guaranteed if you have all your money just sitting in cash, earning basically nothing, you're guaranteed, regardless of what inflation rate is, that your money's going to be worth less than it is now in the future.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee.
And perhaps you can ignore that if inflation's running at 1 or 2 or less than 2%. But at today's level, you can't ignore that. It causes one to question, what is your definition of safe or secure?
Yeah.
What are your priorities, your criteria, what's important to you in things like devaluation of money? How do you define that? Can you define it accurately? Okay, and therefore how important is that to you? And then what are you going to do about that, if anything?
Is that it?
That's all I have.
That's great. Thank you. See you next time.
Just can't believe all the things people say. Controversy. Am I black or white? Am I straight or gay? Controversy.